STEAM friends, welcome back. This unit is all about ecosystems. And today, we are going to take a closer look on how animals help create more plants in the great circle of life, known as our ecosystem. Before we begin, let's go over each letter in the word STEAM. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Great job. For this unit, we will focus on the S for science, the E for engineering, the A for art, and the M for math. Now, if you are ready to explore, let me hear you say, STEAM is awesome! Great job. Let's explore. Remember, ecosystems are made up of all living and non-living organisms in an area that interact or connect with each other. We also learned that a food chain is a single path outline of who eats whom that shows how energy, the ability to do work, flows between living things in an ecosystem. Energy in a food chain starts with the sun, and food chains have 3 categories: producers, consumers, and decomposers. We learned that producers are the first part of the food chain. They are living organisms that make their own food. Every plant is a producer. Plants make their own food through a process called photosynthesis. That is the use of energy from the sun to make food. Now that we have learned about producers and how they are the first part of the food chain, let's explore how consumers and decomposers fit in a food chain. Because our focus will be on consumers for today's project, let's begin by learning about decomposers. So decomposers are living organisms that take apart dead animals and plants so that living plants can get more nutrients from the soil. Decomposers are living organisms such as fungi, worms, mushrooms, and snails. Pause and discuss with your class about how you think non-living animals help bring nutrients to the soil for plants. Great discussion. Consumers. Consumers are organisms that cannot produce their own food. They have to look for food. Consumers are broken down into 3 categories: herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Herbivores eat plants. Carnivores eat meat, and omnivores eat plants and meat. Pause and discuss with your class what animal belongs to what category, as the picture shows on the screen. So it's game show time, STEAM friends. This is what consumer category belongs to the animal. So you will see a picture on your screen. There will be a 5-second timer. You guys can pause and discuss when you need to about your answer, and then the answer will show up on the screen. So the first one is a picture of a bird. And you guessed it, a bird is an omnivore. Good job. Next picture. It is a rabbit. A rabbit is an herbivore. Next picture is an elephant. An elephant is an herbivore. Now there is a lion. A lion is a carnivore. Now a picture of a human. A human is an omnivore. Next, we have an ant. An ant is an omnivore. Lastly, a picture of a bee. A bee is an herbivore. Thank you for participating into today's game. I hope you learned the difference between an omnivore that eats plants and meat, an herbivore that eats plants, and a carnivore that just eats meat. Now that we've learned those terms, let's take a closer look at the last pictured animal, the bee. Bees, amongst other animals and insects, are known as pollinators. Pollinators are how insects or animals help plants make seeds. They take the pollen or nectar between flowering plants of the same type, and the pollen helps make seeds. Pollen is a fine powder produced by certain plants. And nectar is the sweet substance that is made by some plants, so they attract pollinators like butterflies or bees. Bees use nectar to make honey. Pause and discuss with your class about other animals that are pollinators. If your class discussed some of these insects and animals as pollinators, give yourself a big pat on the back for each one you get correct. Here they are: bees, butterflies, honey possums, birds, moths, bats, lemurs, lizards, ants, beetles, flies, and wasp. Great job! Now it is challenge time. Today's challenge will let you see firsthand how pollinators, those are insects or animals that help plants make seeds, operate. So bees, especially honeybees, use a proboscis, and that's sort of like a tongue that is a straw, to get the sweet nectar to pollinate and make honey. So for this project, you will need an eyedropper, liquid water paint, you'll need 2 different colors, construction paper of your choice, foil cupcake liner, a paper cupcake liner, a pencil, a marker, and glue. So your instructions start out with taking out your piece of construction paper. You will glue your paper cupcake liner to your paper. I'm going to take this bottom one. And now you are going to draw a stem and some leaves to the cupcake liner. All right, next we are going to glue our foil cupcake liner to our paper. And you are going to draw a stem and leaves to that cupcake liner. All right, and now you have the chance to draw other flowers on your paper of your choice. So you can draw flowers, you can draw a tulip or a rose, whatever you decide, you can draw that on your paper. And you guys have different colors of markers, so use your creativity. Now you're gonna add 10 drops of liquid water paint to your paper cupcake liner. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and this will act as nectar. Next, we are going to add 20 to 25 drops of liquid water paint to our foil cupcake liner. You're going to use your other color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All right, you are going to take your eyedropper and suck up some of the nectar from the paper cupcake liner and drop it into the foil cupcake liner. You're going to continue to get nectar and transfer, and that's moved from one place to another to all of the flowers. And as we can see the regular seeds from the original foil liner, and then you can see the nectar from our paper one. Now let's try. And you can continue to do this and explore. And question time. So, how do you think the eyedropper is similar to the bee's tongue, the proboscis? And did any of your nectar accidentally drop to other places besides your flowers? Do you think that happens to bees and other pollinators? Number 4, what do you think happens when pollinators accidentally drop pollen and nectar in the ground and not another flower? So think about it. STEAM friends, we have learned and explored so much through our unit on ecosystems. Not only do I hope you enjoyed these experiments, I hope you have gained new knowledge about what ecosystems are. And they are all living and non-living organisms in an area that interact or connect with each other. A food chain is a single path outline of who eats whom. That shows how energy, the ability to do work, flows between living things in an ecosystem. Energy in a food chain starts with the sun, and a food chain has 3 categories. Those categories are producers, consumers, and decomposers. Producers are the first part of the food chain. They are living organisms that make their own food. Every plant is a producer. Plants use energy from the sun, called photosynthesis, to make their own food. Consumers are organisms that cannot produce their own food. They have to look for food. Consumers are broken down into 3 categories: herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Herbivores eat plants, carnivores eat meat, and omnivores eat plants and meat. Decomposers are living organisms that take apart dead animals and plants so that living plants can get more nutrients from the soil. Decomposers are living organisms such as fungi, worms, mushrooms, and snails. Now you will hear from your teacher, and you all will choose to read I Am a Bee or The Tiny Seed. Next week, you're going to make a model of a food chain of your choice using your energy source, the sun, first, followed by producers and consumers. You can design any food chain you can think of. Here, I designed an example showing a food chain in a garden. I have my sun energy source, then my producer, the grass, next my consumer, a worm, and then my last consumer, a bird. Don't forget to look over your STEAM career cards. That is all for today, my STEAM friends. Until next time, be great. Bye-bye.